This was my first impression of you. It's like I didn't know who you were, but I saw this popping up on Facebook and everything else, and I was like, "Who's this guy doing blue collar voice?" But I watched you do it. I've had the benefit opportunity to be a part of it. But one of the things we've never really talked about is how did this actually start? Like, what was the motivating factor that said, "Hey, I'm going to go out and start Blue Collar Voice"?
Well, it was a lot of things, honestly. The name came from something my dad used to always say: "Be the voice for the voices, and be the voice for those who be the one to stand up for those who can't stand for themselves. Always look out for the blue collar people because they're the backbone of our country." So that's where the name comes from. But I don't know anything about journalism. Okay, I don't have a degree in anything like that. I got into this all on my own because everywhere you looked, there was, this paper over here was doing this channel over here was doing this, pushing one side of every story. There's always two sides, both sides. For example, we'll use Republican and Democrat, okay?
Sure.
And this paper over here is only pushing a Republican view, and this side over here is only pushing a Democrat view, and same thing on the TV. There's never both sides right there, and I got aggravated with that because if I subscribe to only one paper or one TV, that's all I'm going to believe, and the only thing I'm going to know. And the same thing for everybody, and so there's going to be a division there. So I wanted to do something a little bit different and give everybody a chance, okay? I will sit down with anybody. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, whatever. You're an American. Especially, I started doing it with the political interviews and everything. I would sit down with anybody, not just the Republicans, not just the Democrats. No, you're running for local office. You deserve to be heard. I don't care if I think you're going to win or I don't think you're going to win. If I like you, I don't like you. I'm going to treat you just as fair and give you the same opportunities. And simply put the information out there, all the information out there, and then put it out there and let the citizens decide what to do with it. Okay? That's the way it should be. Not only put out this side over here or this candidate over here and talk good about this one and knock this candidate just because this one's a friend or this one sponsors me or I'm told to like this party. No. Give them all, put all of it out there. It's not for me to tell you, how to vote and how to think and everything. Right. No. That's your job. My job is to simply put all the information out there so you can be as informed as possible and make the best decision for yourself and your home. Right. That's the way it should be, and that's why I started.
Yeah. No, I love that, man, and that's what was so refreshing. Like watching your stuff is you would have these interviews and you'd leave it open and you let them talk, you let them get their information out. There's such an effort all the time. It feels like to manipulate. Right? There's always seemingly an effort, especially through social media and algorithms and everything else, to try to manipulate, and say, okay, hey, we want the working class to do this, or we want the working class to do that.
Right.
We're going to sit here and like hide the fine print, and then hope they don't see it, right? And see if we can prey on people that are out there working their butts off every day and don't have all the time in the world to piece through all the information. Because like you think about what's going on in Tallahassee or DC or whatever, and they got these long bills and they're pouring over them in committees and everything else. Ain't nobody got time for that around Santa Rosa County.
That was one of the first things I started doing right there. Speaking of that is, I call it, I'm not going to say what I called it, but I made it simpler for all of us to understand and everything. For the regular person who's just in a hurry, so I try to break down the bills and make them easy to understand. If you go back and watch some of the first videos, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking those big bills like you're talking about and breaking them down so a regular person like me can understand what the heck are these people talking about. They do that for that reason. They don't want you to read that stuff.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Man, no, it inspires me because like that's how I want Preserve Navarre to be. Is we put our proposals out there, right? Like we put out the good news. Here's all the services that we want a city to do. We put out the bad news. Right. Yeah, it's going to cost you a little bit more. I've never said anything but that, right? Like you're going to have to pay. But I want people to wrestle with the truth.
Gotcha.
And I don't want to be some snake old car salesman that's trying to hide that from you.
And
the same thing for you is going through that because you're going to find the good and bad of any type of policy or proposal, right? Nobody's perfect, right? You're going to find that about someone.
And that's one of the things I've always, said about the whole Navarre City thing and everything is, and that's one thing you've always done is that you put all the good and the bad out there.
Yeah.
You're not trying to sway it, put all the good stuff out there just so people will like it. No, you put
Yeah.
all the information out there and let them decide. Me personally, as it comes to what you guys should do, that's not for me to decide. That's your guys. This is your,
Yeah, let
this
them
is your
choose.
baby right here.
Exactly.
You know, but whatever you guys choose, you know, for it or against it, I'll be there to support it no matter what, because it's what the citizens chose to do. You know,
That's right.